waiting for it to hook, as usual. Hooked. Okay. Done pretty good at so far at getting to the next Somnium each recording. This one, it's supposed to be about half an hour, so that won't get me to the next Somnium. Now usually, if you know how these work, I'll say something at the beginning of the video like, this video is supposed to be this long, which is nonsense because the video is long as however it's long, and you already know how long it is because you can see the history. So, I don't know why I bother saying that. I guess so you know how irresponsible I am with my time when the video is a lot longer than I say it's going to be. Maybe. I don't know. Deprecate myself. Going to said... Whatever. Flowchart. So, I have to confess that there's no GOG version of this, as you know, so I'm playing this with Steam, and you know how Steam has those achievement lists? Well, although the achievement descriptions are all hidden, the names of the achievements are all spoilery, so... I can warn you, don't look at the achievements when you play this game, because they're spoilery in name. They're spoilery. And one of said spoilers suggests that one of these this route maybe would just goes to an ending. And Komeji might not get murdered. Anyway. If you go, anyway, as long as you go straight down the straight path, it doesn't diverge off to the left here, then it continues the pattern of whoever you sync with gets killed. Without fail. Now, I'm so far into this thing that it wouldn't make any sense to not start contemplating the question of who did it. Because this is like an Ace Attorney case or a Danganronpa case, right? There, you have the same basic questions you're asking. You're trying to guess, what the questions, what the answers to those are before the game gives them to you. That's just kind of what makes it fun, such as who did it, how they did it, and why they did it. And I have to take care of this. I said right. So where's the file? To the persons. So Mizuki, we're going to end up playing as her, and playing as Mizuki and Aiba is going to be a lot more entertaining than Ryuki and Tama, as Ryuki is generic male protag bland character, and Tama is needlessly licentious, kind of cringe fest. Whereas Aiba is a little bit more well balanced in her characterization. So like you could go, okay, is Mizuki the culprit? No, because very rarely would they take. It's not tempting to write her as the culprit, basically. It's easy to say something like, well, because you play as her. Well, it's really lame if you rule out the person you're playing as being the culprit. But, it's not very tempting to write somebody like Mizuki as the culprit. We have the AI ball. She doesn't have a last name, so she wouldn't really fit in the slot very well. Doesn't fit in the name. Doesn't fit. Doesn't have a last name. Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. The last name is a little bit too long. Very suspicious name. Get to that later. It doesn't fit, but her father might. We haven't got to him yet. His head is more deformed than Gen's. His name doesn't fit, and he's dead. He's a victim. Name's too short. Could be either the boss's daughter or Kokiko's daughter, or Tokiko's daughter. Because we know Tokiko's daughter will appear and will have some significance in the plot. Tokiko's daughter will matter. So that character is going to appear at some point. Or Tokiko, it might be, we haven't actually known the gender of Tokiko's child. It could be a man, so it could be Tokiko's son. In which case, that might be the orphan who ran away from the Chaida orphanage. Could have been the son of Tokiko. As long as the ages and numbers line up right, which they might not. I don't remember them exactly. He's dead, so it's hard to do it once he's dead. Tokiko is dead. Name doesn't fit. Might be who you sync with next. It might be the next to die. Name doesn't fit. That would be a great person to make the culprit, though. Name doesn't fit. Too much of a gumshoe kind of type character. Name fits and was wrong. Name too short. They wouldn't make Iris the culprit because they just don't. Her time's already passed. They've already done that. Carry over. Carry over. Too lame. Too lame. Too lame. Same character, Ryuki. Aiba's still Aiba. Ryuki's still Ryuki. Tama is still Tama. The boss is still the boss. Pewter is still Pewter. I wonder what this guy's gonna do, but... And Kagami is still Kagami. So... What the original AI did was the Who, the character they introduced as a Who, his name was Saito Sejima, and his name is a bit of a pun. Saito is supposed to sound like psycho, so Psycho Sejima, and he was not introduced as a named and character with an appearance until very late in the game. I'd say like 4/5 of the way through, and he was introduced in the description of him being the original Cyclops killer. And it turns out the original Cyclops killer was the same as with, I guess you're missing a partner, but one of the two people that actually did the killings, who was responsible for the composite task of the original Cyclops killer, was the second Cyclops killer. Didn't do anything very creative there, did we? And he was introduced very late in the game as a killer. Like Pewter describes to Date, Saito Sejima was the original Cyclops killer. Right there. You hadn't even heard the name before. And I don't even know if you knew that So Sejima even had a son. He was So Sejima's son. You just kind of learned that So Sejima had a son and he was the original Cyclops killer like immediately. And so there would be no way of answering the question as to who at all until you got there, because the character wasn't even introduced. And there wasn't really like much framing around the character. Now, the next question, the why. Well, there are hints, but most of that is also given on the spot as well. Because in Pewter's expositional speech, he explains that Saito has a condition where he can only get dopamine if he kills somebody. And that's not exactly why he does the second set of Cyclops killing, because he doesn't have that body. He's trying to get the body that has that characteristic back. But he just kind of hates Date and wants to kill everything, or just basically troll him by killing people. But it's part of it, and that's again is given as an info dump all of a sudden, along with the who, and you wouldn't have been able to guess it beforehand. The big thing that you can guess beforehand, to some degree, before it's revealed in the original AI, is the how. That is, you kind of see what the bad guy is doing. You can tell that he's swapping bodies and going back and killing the previous body that he was in. You can figure that out pretty early. But it's just difficult to figure out, but it's basically impossible to figure out who it is that's doing that and why, because the character is just not introduced until the end. And this is kind of an Ace Attorney-like thing to do. They've done it in some Ace Attorney cases. Now, when I went to play The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, that game doesn't really do that much. And because of my tendency to think that Ace Attorney does that, I tend to guess wrong a lot. Like when you try to guess the killer before they're revealed in The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, going with a character that has been introduced works a lot better than just guessing that the character has not been introduced yet. It's kind of messed me up there, but it's a very sort of an Ace Attorney thing to do, and I actually don't like it. It's not a very Sherlock Holmes-like thing to do. Stapleton was introduced relatively early in The Hound of the Baskervilles. Right? Usually the character who's at fault is introduced relatively early, so that you have a chance at guessing it. Not introducing the character until the end is cheating. It makes the story less fun to me. Which is kind of why I like things like Danganronpa, where all the possible characters that could have done it, with some exception, are there like on a menu when you start, and it's all closed cast. You don't have that thing like Ace Attorney can do, and really as opposed to Ace Attorney, rather than just introduce characters. But this is an open cast game like Ace Attorney, and a lot unlike things like Infinity and Zero Escape, where whatever you're looking for, whoever you're trying to identify, mastermind or culprit, can be introduced out of nowhere. Somewhat problematic as far as this how and the why. Now, but like the original AI, although it's really hard to figure out the who, none of the persons in my persons list really make a good guess for a who, and the masked woman doesn't even seem to be a good guess, really. If it is turned out to be the masked woman, that would be a lame answer, honestly. The how... it seems... So, this is the hard part. The first victim, which I actually don't have a character profile of the first victim, half his body appeared at one time, half his body appeared at another time. Right? There's 3 ways you can really do this in sci-fi that I know of. One is you time travel the body. 2 is you freeze the body. And 3 is it's not the same body, but it's a clone. Those are the 3 like Uchikoshi ways of doing it. And I've mixed them up and misidentified them sometimes. Aiba specifically says the bodies show no signs of freezing, and it seems to be designed to communicate to the player or the reader, whatever you want to call them, that you can roll out freezing. That's not it. That leaves behind time traveling and cloning. So as far as for cloning, we don't have any evidence of cloning being used as a device in this yet, besides the suspicious last name of Lee and Twinning. Called Twinning. Suspicious. The time travel idea is what the game is seems to be trying to get you to think, right? That the terror is making holes in the fabric of the universe, and those holes are like portals, and he either opens them up, halfway across the human he's trying to cut in half, or he opens it and he shoves half the body through. And then the portal closes, and that cuts the body in half by a portal cut. That's what the game seems to be trying to make me believe. And unfortunately for me, I don't want to believe that, because that's like the obvious, could be the obvious red herring. It's what it wants you to believe, and it can pull a twist on me. That's where it's like, you don't want to take what's given to you on these plots. However, I don't have a better explanation at this time. I'm too dumb. So, I kind of have, that's the only thing I really have to work with here, is this whole portal cut thing, which is a bit too high a sci-fi for AI. Which set the precedent with the first game, is too high a sci-fi is not, like, changing the past and stuff like that. It's not acceptable. Things are simpler than they seem on the surface. So, the precedent for AI is that's a red herring. Anyway, not really saying much there. I don't really have any intelligence, but I think last time it told me I had to investigate the corpse first, and I tried to investigate everything else. Like, I need to talk to them first. Komeji's right half is inside the bag. Okay, so who do I talk to first? Shoma. You have Shoma and the older girls. Say the older girls because we don't have Mizuki here, even though she would be the most useful. Do you see anyone? Okay. Of course he's not okay. Komeji was his father. What can you even say in a situation like this? How could this have happened? Shoma... Okay. She's probably not very useful.
そう。誰も見てないんだね。
I see. No one saw anything.
精神的にかなり参ってるみたい。
She seems very shook up.
しばらくそっとしてあげましょう。
We should let her be for now. Mame already saw Komeji's corpse. She must be in shock. She's in no state to talk. Okay. Izuna is the one that's probably going to actually talk, so we'll do her last. Why is Shoma? Oh, Shoma's highlighted because you can wink sync him. Okay.
さっきしょうまくんの家で結城さんたちただごとじゃない雰囲気だったから。
Why are you here? I figured that something was up with you guys at Shoma's house earlier.
ティアラがどうこうって言ってたし、行き先がドバイタっていうのも聞こえて。
I heard you were talking about terror and going to Vita.
それで心配になって追いかけてきたんです。
So I got worried and came over.
でもすぐに来たというわけではないですけど。
Oh, but we did not come here right away.
しばらくは追いかけるべきかどうするかみんなで話し合っていたのです。
We first discussed whether we should track you down.
結論が出たのは龍騎さんたちが出て行って2時間半ぐらい経ってからかな。
I think it was about 2.5 hours after you left that we decided.
やっぱり行こうってことになってここに。
We thought we should just come straight here and...
ちなみに現在時刻は23時半よ。
So it's probably 20 minutes So go. Where's this backlog Z? 2.5, like 20 minutes waiting for Seiji, for whatever his name is, to come out or to meet with the terror in the studio, and then you lost patience, you walked in. It would then be about 2 hours and 10 minutes where you were passed out on the floor, and the terror doesn't kill the cop because he's just trying to troll the cop, right? It's no fun if you kill the cop. There's also this agenda where he always kills the person that the cop syncs with after he syncs with them. Are you okay?
なんとか。
Well, I'm not the one who got cut in half. I guess so.
いえ、誰も。
No.
このスタジオに入るまで人の姿は全く。
I didn't see anyone until we got inside the studio. How'd you get here?
それは。
Oh, well.
あ、いたいた。
There you are. Oh, we got the taxi driver.
はい、カード決済のレシートでござんす。
Here you are, the receipt for your card payment.
あ、どうも。
Thank you.
失礼ですが、あなたは
Excuse me, but who are you?
え、あっしですかい？あっしはしがないタクシードライバーでござんすよ。
Wait, I am a humble taxi driver.
さっきのレシートお渡しするのを忘れてしまいまして。
I forgot to hand you the receipt earlier.
では、あなたが4人を乗せてきたと。
So you drove these four here?
ええ、さようでござんす。
Indeed, that is correct. Car, I presume, seats 5.
あっし、昔から機械の類はからっきしダメでござんして。
I was always quite bad with machines, you see.
テレビの配線はもちろん、音楽を聴くのすら人任せでしてね。
I let others handle the TV, the music, and the other such things.
以前 CD を聴こうとして開け方がわからず拳で叩き割ったこともあったでござんす。
Oh, one time I wanted to listen to a CD, but didn't know how to open the CD player, so I smashed it with my fist.
はあ。
What brought that on? Okay.
それがどうかしたんですか？
Why are you telling me this?
そのぐらい機械音痴ってことでござんすよ。
That's just how terrible with machines I am. Yeah, but why are you telling me how terrible with machines you are?
そんな足ですから。カード決済の端末なんてスムーズに操れるわけもなく。
That's why I could not handle the card payment as smoothly as I would have liked.
ほんでもって支払いの処理に手間取っておりましたら。
And while I was fumbling my way through the payment, you said that the girl with the blue hair in the passenger seat ran out. So it was.
豆ちゃんが。
Mame did.
先に降りたってことみたいね。
So she got out of the car first.
そんなことされたらこっちはなおさら慌ててしまうでござんしょ。
Naturally, I was quite flustered by this rowdy display.
というわけでさらにもたつくこと3分4分いや5分はあったかもしれませんね。
And so I continued to fumble for 3, 4, no, perhaps even 5 minutes or
ど
so.
うにか決済は終えることができたんですが、あっしは焦っておりましたから。
So I somehow managed to process the payment, but I was still quite bothered.
カードだけお返ししてレシートをお渡しするのをすっかり忘れてしまったのでござんすよ。
I returned the credit card, but in my haste, I completely forgot to hand over the receipt. Honestly, I don't think they would care about that.
その間、後部座席の3人は
What were the other 3 in the back seat doing all that during all
ずっ
that?
と待っておりました。
They were waiting the entire time.
カードはキズナッチのものだったんです。
The card was Kizzy's.
でもキズナッチは一番左に座ってたから私と翔馬くんは降りることができなくて。
But she was sitting on the far left seat, so Shoma and I didn't get out. Supposedly, I was supposed to understand how this works. Maybe this makes sense in Japan, where, say, your driver, it's like Britain, where your right side drive and you drive on the left side of the road, and so the person on the left side of the car is what gets out onto the side of the road, and the right door goes into traffic or something like that. So you have to get out the left side.
では用も済んだので足はこれで。
Well, now that that's settled, I will be off.
失礼するでござんすよ。
If you'll excuse me. So I'm supposed to take this lead that Amame was the one who was most eager to get out. Okay, so that's who would wink sync apparently. Did you see
誰
anyone?
かというのは犯人のことですか？
By anyone, do you mean the culprit?
いやそれ以外の人物も含めて
Well, anyone at all.
怪しげな人影を見たりとか
Like any suspicious figures, maybe.
いいえ、全くどなたにも会いませんでした。
No blue people? No, we did not see a single soul. No, mathematical problems. Sometimes we call those figures as well.
そっか
I see. Mame went to the studio by herself? Yes.
私とキズナッチとショウマくんは3人で一緒にこのスタジオに。
Kizzy, Shoma, and I went into the studio together.
その時はすでにマメさんはここにおりました。
Mame-san was already inside.
何よ龍騎、そのことがどうかしたっていうの？
What is it, Ryuki? Does something bother you about that? Well, nothing necessarily bothers me. It's just that she would be the first one to see the scene, so she would know. She might have seen something the others
いや
didn't.
別に
No, it's nothing. Are you the ones that helped me?
助けたというのは大げさですね。
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
私たちはロープをほどいて差し上げただけですから。
We simply untied the rope that bound you.
ロープ
Rope?
あそこにあるやつね。
There must be one over there.
僕あれで縛られてたってこと？
I was tied up with that.
はい、手足をきっちりと。
Yeah, your hands and feet were tied really tight.
私たちがここに来た時、龍騎さんはその状態で倒れていて。
When we arrived, we found you on the ground in that state.
それでキズナッチと私でそのロープを。
So Kizzy and I untied the rope.
タマアビスと本庁に連絡は？
Tama, have you contacted Abyss and HQ?
もちろん速攻でしたわよ。
Way ahead of you.
そろそろ捜査班が到着するはず。
The investigation team should arrive soon.
一応カウンセラーも手配しといたわ。
I've also arranged for a
4
counselor.
人の精神状態はかなり。
All four of them are in a really bad mental state.
しょうまくん
Shoma-kun,
大丈夫ですか？
are you okay? The vomiting's fine. It won't kill you.
しょうまくん、待って！
Shoma, wait.
ちょっと龍騎、何してるの？
Don't just stand there, Ryuki.
早く後を追わないと。
Go after him. But why, though? What's he gonna do?
ああ
Right. Why are we leaving the scene? Why didn't we investigate the scene? I didn't get to wink sync with Amame. This is bad. By the time I ran out of the studio, Shoma was already gone. The other three must have decided to split up because they scattered in different directions. I thought it would be best to search a wider area and got in my car, but
ダメだどこにもいない
I don't see him anywhere.
スマホは無反応だし GPS の機能もオフになってる
No response on his phone, and his GPS is off.
一体しょうまくんはどこに
Where did you go, Shoma?
あの様子で飛び出していかれたら探さないわけにはいかないわよね。
We have to find him after he stormed out like that.
ほっといたら何をしでかすか。
Who knows what he'll do in this state?
落ち着いて龍騎。翔馬が行きそうな場所を考えるのよ。
Calm down, Ryuki. Think about where Shoma might go.
行きそうな場所
Where he might go.
そうか
I
分かった
got
ぞ
it!
しょうまくんはきっとあそこに
Shoma must be there! That would be very basic, though.
翔馬くん。
まあいいじゃない。
Well, no big
これは
deal.
観覧車よ。
It's a Ferris wheel.
待ってれば必ず戻ってくるわ。
He'll come back down if we just wait. Ryuki Chapter 4 R1. Well known.
「それにしてもふざけたことしてくれるわね。
Anyway, this is all a load of bull.
今日はバレンタインだっていうのに。
Today is Valentine's Day. True. What?
午前0時を回って2月14日になったのよ。
It's past midnight, so it's February 14th now.
そっか。
Oh.
でもそんなことどうでもいいんだけど。
But I don't really care about that right now.
どうでもいいってことはないでしょ。
How do you not care?
それより翔馬くんが乗ったのって2番の観覧車だったよね。
Do Japanese people even care about that anyway, regardless? More importantly, Shoma was on the number 2 car, right?
なんでそんなこと聞くの？
Why do you ask?
なんでって。
Because...
確かにショーマは2番の観覧車に。
Yes, he definitely went in number 2.
だよね。
I thought
だとし
so.
たらそろそろ戻ってくる頃だ。
If that's the case, he should be back soon. The sun went down while the Ferris wheel was turning, but whatever. It's a slow Ferris wheel. Watch him not be in there.
そんな。
I
ど
knew
うし
it.
て。
How?
なんでだよ。
How?
片っ端から全ての観覧車を調べてみた。
We checked every one of the cars.
なのにどこにも翔馬くんの姿は。
I don't see Shoma anywhere.
この世はプログラムによって構築された偽りの世界。
No. That's not where this applies. We are living in a false world created by a
で
program.
すからそのコードを書き換えられれば奇跡を起こすことができるのです。
Therefore, if we just write, we could just write whatever we want. And then that's how the story goes.
嘘だろ。
It can't be.
そんなバカな。
Impossible.
ありえない。
It can't be.
ありえない。
Can't be.
確かに翔馬くんはあの観覧車に乗ったんだ。
I know Shoma went on that car.
この目ではっきりと見たんだよ。
I saw it with my own eyes.
なのに
And yet... You doubted the world.
ちょっと待って。
Hold on.
もしかしてまた？
Don't tell me it's happening again. I'm getting doki dokied. Okay, Yume Shrine.
Tama, 知ってる？
Tama, do you know about this place?
前に伊達さんから聞いたんだけど、
I heard about it from Mr. Date. It is Somnium in it and
こ
whatever.
の神社には時軸の角の実っていう不思議な果実が祀られてるんだって。
Oh, this. The shrine worships a fruit called the fruit of immortality.
それを食べると不老不死になれると言われてて。
If you eat it, you will gain eternal youth and life. Why are your eyes crazy?
ねえ、龍騎。はっきり言わせてもらうけど、
Hey Ryuki, I'm gonna be honest with you.
あなたの精神状態はまともじゃないわ。
You're not well. Mentally, I mean.
ずっと前から普通じゃなかったけど、今はそれに輪をかけておかしくなってる。
You haven't been for a long time now, and I think it's getting worse.
ちゃんとお医者さんに見てもらわないと。
You should really see somebody.
大丈夫だよ。
I'm
この
fine.
神社に来たらちょっと落ち着いたから。
I'm the protagonist. This is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to be. Just insane. Coming to this shrine has calmed me down, and like in a constant brain fog, because for some reason that's supposed to be entertaining.
こんなところに来たって何の解決にもならないのよ。
Coming here doesn't solve anything.
神や仏に頼んだところであなたの心の傷は癒えたりしないわ。
Praying to a god or Buddha isn't going to heal your heart. Except you don't really pray to Buddha, though.
だからお願い、龍騎。
Please, Ryuki.
分かったよ。
Okay,
病
then.
院行けばいいんでしょ。
You want me to go to the hospital?
でもその前に一つ頼みがあるんだ。
Before I go, let me ask you for one
スタ
thing.
ジオドバイタで見た光景、ここで再現してくれないかな。
Can you replay the scene from Studio Devita right now?
龍騎、
Ryuki?
どうしても HB 事件を解決したいんだ。
I want to solve the HB case no matter what.
いや、解決しなきゃいけないんだよ。
No, I have to solve it.
殺された米地さんのためにも。
For Komeji-san. Especially now that he's...
あんたってほんと。
You're really...
まあいいわ。わかったわよ。
Fine, I'll do
だ
it.
けどその代わり捜査が済んだら必ず。
But promise me that after the investigation you will...
ちゃんと診察を受けるよ。
Yes, I'll go get checked out.
約束よ。
Promise? Okay.
あ、約束だ。
Yeah, I
そ
promise.
れじゃあ目をつぶって
Now, close your eyes.
始めるわよ。
Let's do this.
ねえ、ここで何を調べるつもり？
So what do you want to investigate here?
ちょっと気になったことがあって。
Something's been bothering me.
あそこに三脚のついたカメラが倒れてるでしょ。
You see the camera on the tripod that's stripped over?
あれ、僕らがここに来た時には
When we got here,
倒れてなかったわね。
it wasn't like that.
なんで倒れたんだろ
Why did it fall over?
テアラーが倒したんじゃない？
Could have been terror?
う。どうして？
But why?
理由はわからないけど、テアラー以外に考えられないじゃない。
I don't understand why, but it could have only been him.
そんなことないよ。
No, that's not true.
倒した可能性のある人物はもう一人いるでしょ。
There is another person that could have tipped it over.
僕らが意識を取り戻した時、このスタジオには4人の姿があった。
When we regained consciousness, there were 4 people here.
イリスちゃん、キズナちゃん、マメちゃんと、それからショウマくんの4人だ。
Iris, Kizuna, Mame, and Shoma. With the honorifics and stuff, because for some reason we use them when talking to our eyeball.
そのうち最初にスタジオに入ったのは
The first one to go into the studio was
甘めね。イリスとキズナがそう言ってたわ。
Amame. That's what Iris and Kizuna said.
もしかして甘めがカメラを倒したって言いたいの？
Are you suggesting Amame tipped over the camera?
可能性は高いんじゃないかな。
It's entirely possible.
でもなんで？
Is she who we're gonna sync with next, and therefore is she gonna die? But why would she do that? Nah.
それをこれから調べようと。
That's what I'm going to figure out. The spoilery Steam achievement title suggests that's not gonna happen. Okay. See if you quiz show contestants. Okay, we do have X-ray. We do have other modes.
東側の扉よ。
The door on the east side.
僕らが入ってきた扉だね。
The door we entered from.
西の方にある扉。 外側からロックされてるわ。
The door on the west side of the building is
こ
locked.
っちから開くのは無理そうね。
I don't think we can open it from this
この
side.
スタジオに他に出入り口は？
Are there any other exits?
私たちが入ってきた東の扉だけよ。
The only other door is the door to the east, the one we entered
つ
from.
まり東と西2箇所しかないってことだね。
So east and west, just the two exits. Mannequins. Podium. The monitor. Okay. Non-tipped camera.
床に電気ポットが転がってる。
The kettle is on the floor.
きっとテーブルから落ちたのね。
Must have fallen off the table.
なんで落ちたんだろ
I wonder how it fell.
テーブルの上で誰かがパイルドライバーをしたから。
Someone did a pile driver on it.
じゃあないとしたら誰かがテーブルにぶつかったんでしょうね。
Either that or it was bumped or something. The kettle's on the floor.
テーブルね。上に外れた電源ケーブルが乗ってるわ。
There's a power cord on the table.
多分電気ポットのだと思うけど。
I think it's for the electric
う。この
kettle.
上に電気ポットが置かれてたってことか。
Probably means the kettle was here.
このモニターに例の動画が。
That one video is playing on the monitor.
それで龍騎は意識を失って直後に私も。
This is where you lost consciousness, and me right after. Okay. So, let's go through those again. No, it's just normal and thermo. Okay. Anything in the thermo? Yes.
下の方がぐしょぐしょに濡れちゃってるわ。
The floor is wetter than my.
言い方。
Please don't even say it.
びしょびしょの方が良かった？
Would you prefer the word moist? Except I didn't hear moist in Japanese. So this is like completely original joke for the English translation. What was the Japanese one?
おそらくポットには熱湯が入ってたんだと思うわ。
I think there was hot water in the kettle.
電気ポットだから保温のままになってて、
It must have been in keep warm
そ
mode.
れがこぼれてこんな風に。
That must have fell and hot water. And the hot water caused hot water footprints to
お
form.
湯を踏んだことによってできた足跡ね。
Footprints from the water.
まだ冷めきってないところを見ると、
Seeing that it's still warm,
このデータを取得するほんの数分前につけられた足跡ってことになりそうだわ。
the prints couldn't be more than a few minutes old by the time this data was gathered.
僕らが意識を取り戻す直前ってこと？
So right before we regained consciousness.
ええ、
Yeah.
誰の足跡かわかる？
Can you tell whose prints they are? Well, it might be on Mame, right?
靴底の形状、サイズから考えて間違いなく甘めのものよ。
Judging from the shape and size, absolutely Amame's.
足跡はあっちの扉の前まで続いてるね。
The prints lead to the door over there.
西側の扉ね。
The door on the west side. Which is locked. And then they stop. Okay, let's go back to normal mode.
龍騎が亀甲縛りされてたロープね。
It's the rope that you had had you in tortoiseshell bondage position.
亀甲じゃなかったと思うけど。
Tortoiseshell? No, that's not true.
あれ？カニ縛りだったかしら？
Oh, was it a crab tie?
カニでもエビでもリャンハンでもないね。
No crabs, no tortoises, no shrimp, nothing.
それより見てよ、これ。ロープに付け爪が。
Anyway, look at the rope. There's a fake nail.
これ甘めがつけてたネイルチップだわ。
It matches what Mame had on. Mame's fake nail on the rope I was bound in. And now the tipped over camera.
確かに立ってないわね。
It really isn't standing up.
ア
Yeah.
ルコールのせいなんじゃない？
Could it be the alcohol's fault?
よくあることよ。気にする必要はないわ。
It happens all the time. Don't worry about it.
何の話？
What are you talking about? You know, when you drink too much at your wedding, and then you can't do what you're supposed to do after the wedding because you drank too much. Okay. That's it.
死亡推定時刻は？
What's the estimated time of
お
death?
よそ1時間半前よ。
Roughly an hour and a half ago.
この死体が発見された時を基準にしてね。
So about 1 hour after you lost consciousness and then got shocked. Based on the time the body was discovered, of course. So it took an hour to do the portal cut on him?
つまり2月13日の22時前後ってことか。
So roughly 10 p.m. February 13th.
僕らがここで目覚めたのは23時半頃のことだったから。
We woke up here at around 11:30.
よし。一通り調べ終えた感じだ。
Okay, it looks like we're pretty much done investigating
今
here.
の捜査で重要なことが分かったよ。
I think I can make one conclusion.
何よそれ。聞かせてくれる？
Oh, care to share what that
ま
is?
ずはマメちゃんがスタジオに入ってから一番最初にどこに行ったかについて考えてみよ
First, think about what Mame did when she first entered the studio. Uh,
まっすぐ西の扉を目指したと思う。
I think she headed straight for the door to the west.
なんで？
Why?
なんでだろう。
Why indeed?
真面目にやらないと頭に電流流すわよ。
You better come up with something better than that or I'm going to zap you. Oh. Well, this is not an option, so there
こ
we
の
go.
カメラに突進していって倒したんだ。
She knocked over the camera.
どんな理由で？
Why would she do that?
三本足の宇宙人だと勘違いしちゃったんじゃないかな。
Maybe she thought it was a three-legged alien.
それで地球を侵略しに来たんだと思い込んで。
She thought they were invading Earth,
あ
so
んたのもう一本の足を引きちぎってやろうか？
take this seriously or I'm going to chop off your third leg. Do I have to go to thermal mode? No, I can't go to thermal mode. Okay, she went in the studio.
動線から考えて最初に僕のところに来たのは間違いないと思う。
Judging from the trail, I think she came to me first, but didn't untie you because the other girls did.
お湯を踏んでからここにっていうのは考えられない。
She couldn't have come to me after stepping in the warm
だっ
water.
てそうだとしたら足跡が残ってるはずだからね。
Because if she did, it would have left prints.
で、その時にネイルチップが取れちゃったんだよ。
That's where a bit of her nail broke and stuck to the rope.
だけどあることがあって中断せざるを得ない状況に。
But then something happened that stopped her.
あることって？
Something?
それについては後で言うよ。
I'll tell you later.
とにかくマメちゃんはロープをほどく手を止めて
Anyway, she stopped trying to untie me.
どこに向かったの？
Where'd she go from there? Then
ここさ。
here.
だからカメラを倒しちゃって。
She tripped over the camera by accident.
それで次はどこに？
And then what?
次にやってきたのはここだ。
She came here next.
マメちゃんはここでテーブルにぶつかりその衝撃でポットが落下。
Mommy ran into the table, which caused the kettle to fall.
床に熱湯がこぼれることになったんだ。
And the hot water spilled on the floor.
その後は？
And then to the door.
足跡をたどれば一目瞭然。
Well, if we trace her
最後に
footprints,
たどり着いたのはここ。
they
西
stopped
の
right,
扉の前だ。
they stopped right in front of the western
だけ
door.
ど扉にはロックがかかっていて開かなかった。
But the door was locked and didn't open.
だからマメちゃんは外に出ることはできず
So she couldn't get out, and then
タマ君はもう気づいてるんじゃない？
Tama, do you have any ideas?
マメちゃんが どうしてロープをほどくのをやめたのか。
Why Mame stopped trying to untie me?
バレちゃったか。
Yeah, I sure
で
do.
も続けてくれる？あなたの考えが知りたいの。
But continue, I want to hear what you're thinking.
じゃあ答えを言うよ。簡単なことさ。
Okay, here's my answer. It's simple,
き
actually.
っと豆ちゃんはテアラがスタジオに入ってくるのを見たんだよ。
I think Mame saw Terror enter the studio
僕のロープをほどいてる時に
while she was untying me.
同時にテアラの方も豆ちゃんを発見。
Terror came across the scene.
なんとかしなければととっさに考え、豆ちゃんに向かって駆け寄っていったんだと思う。
They ran over to her to try to take her out.
こんな中途半端な位置に死体が放置されていたのはそのためで、
That's why the body was left in such an unnatural position.
なるほどね。私の考えと同じだわ。
I see, we're on the same
い
page.
くつか疑問点が残ってたりもするけど、
There are still some question marks, but
まあその件については置いておくとして。
so I guess the hour and a half, or what hour and a half wasn't an hour and a half before, huh? Hour and a half before the girls walked in, it would be an hour and a half before, like when this virtual reality is taking place. Well, putting that thread aside for now,
とりあえず始めましょうか。
shall we get started?
始めるって
Start
何を？
what? The
決
enactment,
まってるじゃない。フィルムの撮影よ。
filming, duh.
またやるんだ。
Again,
何か文句でも？
you got a problem?
というわけで準備はいい？
So are you ready?
いや
No.
行くわよ。
Okay, here we go.
嫌って言ったけど、
I said no.
よーい
Ready?
アクション。今回は甘めとして彼女の行動をたどってもらうわ。
I'm going to cast you as a Mame, recreate her movements.
というわけで甘めがスタジオに駆けつけたところから始めるわよ。
I presume it's vertical because it was originally in Japanese. Let's start with when she first ran into the
確
studio.
か豆ちゃんが最初に向かったのは
Her first move was no, you're supposed to act as her.
うわあ、大変だ。龍騎さんがロープで縛られている。
Oh no, Ryuki-san is tied up.
本当に稀に見る大根役者ね。
You're a really bad
お
actor.
願いだからもうそっちは期待しないで。
What did you expect?
龍騎さん、
Ryuki-san.
龍騎さん、龍騎さん、しっかりして。
Ryuki-san, Ryuki-san, snap out of
こ
it.
の時ネイルチップが取れたのよね。
This is when her nail fell off.
豆ちゃんは必死にロープをほどこうとしたけど、そうこうしてるうちに
Mame tried to untie the rope and
テアラと鉢合わせしてしまったのね。
that's when Terror ran into her.
テアラーがいるから東の扉からは逃げられない。
Since Terror is blocking the east door, she can't go that way.
そこで豆ちゃんは反対の西の扉へ逃げようと。
So she tried to run to the other door.
さあ、そこは迫真の演技で。
Okay, let's see her best performance.
キャーキャー助けてー。
Help!
キモ。
じゃあやらせんなよ。
Why do you make me do
ほ
this?
ら続けて続けて。逃げる逃げる。
Okay, go on, run away.
で逃げる途中カメラにぶつかって倒し、
Runs to the camera.
ポットを落としながらも懸命に逃げて、
They run to the table that drops the kettle, and well, you did a good job with that.
だけどやっとたどり着いた西の扉は施錠されてるから出られない。
She discovers the west door is completely locked.
と最後のはいい表情だったわ。
You were doing so well.
うん、そうよね。甘めはこの扉の前へと追い詰められて。
Anyway, she was cornered, and
でもその後は一体何があったのかしら。
but I don't know why it's translated to huh. What happened after that?
さっき疑問点があるって言ったのはそのことよ。
This is what I was trying to get at earlier.
それともう一つ、
Now, one more thing.
アマメは犯人を見なかったかって尋ねた時、確かに首を振ったわよね。
When you asked Amame if she saw the culprit, she shook her head.
どうして彼女は嘘なんか。
Why did she lie? Because the culprit is Gin? No.
ねえタマ、このスタジオのデータは全て丸ごとスキャンしたんだよね。
Hey, Tama, you collected all the data in the studio, right?
X 線のものも含めて。
Including X-ray?
ええ、そうよ。
Yeah.
だとしたら
In that case. Oh, just intentionally don't let me use that mode until now. Why not? Because of suspense.
やっぱり
I knew it.
そんな、あいつがテアラ？
What, terror?
だと思う。
I think so. And he was there when you ran in. Yep.
私たちが意識を取り戻した時、このスタジオにいたっていうの？
So when we regained consciousness, they were in the studio. Oh,
そうなるね。
that must be the case.
っていうかタマは気づかなかったの？
Wait, you didn't notice, Tama?
君には X 線の光景見えてたはずじゃ。
I thought you had X-ray vision.
だってあれ、セットの一部だって思ってたから。
I thought it was part of the set.
ところであいつ銃を持ってるよね。
Anyway, they have a
え
gun?
え、50口径のオートマチックハンドガンね。
Yeah, a 50 caliber automatic handgun.
弾が体の一部に当たっただけで致命傷になる銃よ。
That's a little weird to me. Automatic handgun? You can't really fit that big a magazine in a handgun, so if you made it automatic, you'd run out of bullets really fast. Do they mean semi-automatic? Which would make sense. That could do some real damage.
ここからは僕の想像に過ぎないけど、
This next bit is just speculation, but
テアラーが西の扉の前へとマメちゃんを追い詰めた後、
Terror headed to the western door and cornered Mame. Well, I don't know very much about guns. Or anything that's not, like, anything that has any sort of automatic of any sort to it. The only guns I'm used to are ones where you have to pull the hammer back every time you want to fire another round. Anyway. Yeah, if it's a semi-automatic, you don't have to cock it, right? You don't have to pull the hammer back when you release, in order for you to pull, when we pull the trigger, would send the hammer forward and fire the gun. You just can pull the trigger again and again. Or the pressure plate or whatever. Terror headed to the western door and cornered Mame.
東の扉の方から駆け寄ってくる複数の足音が聞こえてきたんじゃないかな。
But they must have heard footsteps coming from the other door.
イリスちゃん、キズナちゃん、ショウマくんの足音が。
Iris, Kizuma, and Shoma.
でもそれが子供たちの足音だなんてテアラーには知る由もない。
Of course, Terror probably had no idea who they were.
そこでテアラーはマメちゃんに向かってこんな感じのことを言ったんだと思う。
Terror must have said something like, if you tell me where I am, where I'm about to hide, I will shoot you. Don't tell them I'm here. If you do, I'll shoot you.
で、テアラーはセットの裏に隠れたんだよ。西の扉は開かなかったから。
Can you see this if you wink sync her? Does that change? Does that do a branch of some sort? Then they hid in the set since their only escape route was cut off.
それでアマメは嘘を。
That's why Mame
テ
lied.
アラに脅されてたから本当のことは言えなかったのね。
She couldn't have said anything with Terror threatening her.
多分
Probably.
それにしても最悪だよ。
What a
す
shame.
ぐ近くにテアラーがいたのに捕まえられなかったなんて。
Terror was right there, but we couldn't get him.
仕方がないわ。あの時はショーマを追うのが先決だったわけで。
There was nothing we could have done. Shoma was the top priority.
とにかくやるべきことは一つだ。
Anyway, there's only one thing we need to do.
マメちゃんを探そう。
Let's find Mame.
マメちゃんは直接テアラーに出会った重要参考人だ。
She saw terror in person. She is a key witness.
あいつから何か大事なことを聞いてるかもしれない。
Maybe she has some information.
もしくはテアラーの声、歩き方、何らかの身体的特徴について知ってるかも。
Something about terror. We don't know. Maybe a voice or how they walk.
ねえタマ、マメちゃんの居場所は？
Hey Tama, where's Mame-chan?
わからないわ。
I don't know.
スマホの電源が切れてるか電波の届かないところにいるみたいで。
Her smartphone is either off or somewhere with no reception, as usual. I asked Tama to call Kizuna, Iris, and Gen to ask if they knew where Mame was. None of them picked up.
っていうかそんなことより約束はどうなったのよ。
Hold on a second, what about your promise?
大丈夫だよ。診察ならちゃんと受けるから。
Fine, I'll get checked.
ああ、それとできれば翔馬くんからも話が聞きたい。
And I want to talk to Shoma.
確か今自宅にいるんだったよね。
He's at home now, right? At least that's what Tama said before I came to the shrine. I had no idea where Shoma was able to get out. How Shoma was able to get out of the Ferris wheel? I don't know if it's related to all this, but I had a strong desire to find out.
つまり目的は3つ。
So you have three objectives.
甘めの捜索と病院で診察を受けること。それと翔馬に会うことね。
Finding a Mame, getting checked up at the hospital, and meeting with Shoma, right? Yeah.
わかったわ。しょうがないから付き合ってあげるわよ。
Fine, I'll tag along. Like you have a choice. You can't really move very fast when you're not in my eyeball. Eye socket.
何しろ今日はパートナーたちの誓いの日。セイントバレンタインデーだからね。
Not to mention today is special for partners. Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, Tama, you are just like a jelly thing in my eye.
それってどういう意味？
What do you mean?
さあ、どういう意味かしら。
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
とにかく行きましょう。移動開始よ。
Anyway, let's get going. Oh my goodness. Let's get this taken care of. Because this can't lead anywhere.
個室が空いててよかったですね。
Oh, we have to do this character. I'm glad we had an open room for you.
ここなら静かだし、落ち着いて治療に専念できると思います。
It's quiet here. You should be able to relax and focus on your treatment.
治療？
Treatment for what? There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with me on the surface.
わあ、入院の手続きなら心配しないでください。
Oh, you don't have to worry about your paperwork for your stay here. Abyss took care of that.
こちらで全てやっておきますから。
We'll handle everything. And because you didn't do your paperwork, well, a bunch of stuff's gonna be done to you without your consent.
ちょっと待ってください。
Hold on.
入院って何のことですか？
My stay here. What are you talking about?
もしかして覚えてないんですか？
You don't remember?
何を？
Remember what?
弱りましたね。
This is troubling. Bed, window, curtain, cupboard, sink. Okay. Tree. We can wink sync the nurse.
先生、いけません。こんなところで。
Doctor, you should
病院でするなんて不謹慎にも程がありますよ。
you shouldn't be doing this at the hospital.
やめてください。球をグリグリしないで。
Put your ball away. Oh.
クセモン GO 院内では禁止ですからね。
No playing Kusamon Go in the hospital. took care of that.
この病院の看護師です。那須佳代と言います。
My name is Hanayo Nasu. I'm a nurse at this hospital.
つい最近まで闇野という名字だったのですが。
I used to go by a different name in the previous game.
ご結婚を
You got married?
いいえ、逆ですよ。離婚したんです。
No, the opposite. I got a divorce.
それで旧姓に戻ることになって。
So I'm going back to my maiden name.
お見えになったのは数時間前だったと思います。
It's been a few hours since you arrived.
数時間
A few hours?
そんなバカな。
They sedated you. That's impossible.
龍樹さん、さっき診察を受けたことは覚えてますか？
Mr. Ryuki, do you remember getting a checkup?
その時に担当の先生からいろいろと説明があったはずですが。
I'm sure the doctor would have told you
い
everything.
え、全く。
No, I have no idea.
そうですか。
I see.
まあ、無理もないのかもしれません。
Then I'm afraid I'll have to be the bearer of bad
龍
news.
樹さんは見当識障害を患っているようですから。
Mr. Ryuki, you have something we call cognitive dysfunction.
今がいつなのか、ここがどこなのか、
Sometimes you'll forget what time it is or where you are.
知ってるはずの人物のことさえわからなくなってしまう。
Even lose track of the people around you.
そんな病気のことです。
It's all part of your
龍樹
condition.
さんはそれに加えて近似記憶に関する障害も。
In addition to that, we believe you have a short-term memory
タ
disorder.
マ、本当なの？
Tama, is this true?
事実よ。
Yes, it is.
大変言いにくいのですが、龍樹さん。
So now you have to go back through the entire game and find these gaps. Yeah, this implications just ripple back. Is how many times has he caught the terror? And just not remember who he was. It's difficult for me to say, but
あなたの症状はとても深刻なものだそうです。
your condition is very serious.
すぐに治療を始めないと取り返しのつかないことに。
We need to begin treatment immediately. What does that entail?
それじゃあ私、書類を取ってきますね。
I'm going to get the files.
すぐに戻ってきますから、ここで待っててください。
I'll be right back, so please wait here.
では。
Excuse me.
さてと、約束通り診察は受けたし。
So this is what the video does? Maybe it's just an immediate effect of the that video. The QR code video. Okay, I went to the hospital like I promised.
そろそろ行こうか、タマ。
Now let's get going, Tama.
はあ？何言ってんの？
What are you talking about?
すぐに入院する必要があるってさっきの看護師が。
That nurse told you need to stay here.
そんなことしてる場合じゃないんだよ。
I don't have time for that.
僕はどうしても事件を解決しなきゃいけないんだ。
I need to solve this case, which I may have solved already many times already. I just forgot the answer to.
お願いだよ、タマ。
Please,
あ
Tama.
と3日でいいから。
Just 3 more days.
却下よ。
I refuse.
だったら1日だけ、24時間だけでも構わない。
Fine, just 1 day, 24 hours is all I ask.
捜査を続けさせてほしいんだ。
Please let me do this. Please.
後でチョコあげるからさ。
I'll give you some chocolate later. But she can't eat. She's a
それって
computer.
嫌がらせ？
Are you joking?
私が食べられないの知ってて。
You know I can't eat chocolate.
そうじゃない。
No, I mean
気
like
持ち的な意味でのチョコレートだよ。
emotional chocolate.
何よ、それ。
What is that?
ああ、もう分かったわよ。た
Fine.
だし、本当に24時間だけだからね。
But you're only getting 24 hours.
それ以上は1秒たりとも譲らないから。
Not a second
ありが
longer.
とう、タマ。
Thanks, Tama. Okay, got that weirdness. Okay, I have to stop. So I will stop. And then pick up this laundry list of things next time I record. And next time I record, we'll probably get to the next, hopefully get to the next Somnium. Which may or may not be with Amame. So let's go to menu. Save game. Yes. What's this nonsense? Sad. Oh. Spin eyeballs.
私にも見せて。わーいわーい。早く確認しよう。ほらほら。いい選択だ。イエーイ。早く確認しよう。ほらほら。いい選択だ。
Kind of a Zero Escape reference. Kind of.